a legacy whilst you're still alive, with fans and followers and financials that'll follow you and your family into the future. Hi, I'm David Crane. Welcome to Wakanda. It's not really Wakanda, I made it up, but I do kind of like it, and I do like my new office. It's nice, isn't it? Just shows that I don't just do this and throw it all together. It's quite clear there's reasons for being here. I hope you're well. Feel free to tell me where you are, what you're up to, and ask any questions as we go through it. And this is episode number 2 in season 4 of the podcast. It might be season 5, I'm not sure. It's really hard to keep tabs on it when you just go blur on a screen. All right, so today I want to share with you how to build a legacy that inspires. And it's really important to be able to get this right. Now, if you just joined me, welcome to Speak on Stage. If you're watching it on the video or you're watching us streaming live, and nice to see you. The current time, well, it doesn't matter about the current time because you're probably in a different time zone, in which case, whatever I say, you'll go, no. It's not that. And the location varies. And so it doesn't matter. The point is, I'm here to help you. And welcome to Speak on Stage. If you haven't caught any of the other episodes, then go to your favorite Spotify or iTunes or provider of podcasts. Look for Speak on Stage. If you see a picture of me looking grumpy, then you know it's me. I'm only grumpy on pictures. I'm posing. People do that. Okay, so that's Speak on Stage. Welcome to the show. Today I want to be talking about your legacy, and many people don't understand legacy. It's quite interesting. I went to a business meeting the other day, and I was chatting to people, and the minute you bring up legacy, they can't even think further than just their sales meeting for the day. Now that's fine, and there's no problem with that at all. But imagine you could start building up your legacy right now. Imagine you can start building a relationship with your audience right now that people are talking about while you're able to enjoy it. And that will just lead and get bigger and bigger as you go and progress. That's what we're going to be talking about with today's session. But welcome and hello to wherever you are in the world to this podcast. So with that, let me explain. Your brand is what people say about you once you've left the room. That's been said by many famous people. So your brand, your personal brand, is once you leave a room and people are saying, who's that person? Somebody stands up and says, well, I know them as this. But what about your legacy? Here's my thoughts. Your legacy is what people say about you once you've left this life, as in dead. So your legacy should live long after you because your brand will change in people's perception, but it should be that your legacy is set in stone. Not everybody's going to like you, and that's fine, but we should respect you and what it is that you do. Does that make sense to you? I hope so. Good. Okay. So as always, looking forward to your thoughts and any challenges that you have that you want to share with me, then feel free. I do get round to answering everybody unless the questions are stupid, in which case I just go, and I leave it exactly where it is. You have been warned, by the way. At least I'm honest. Okay. So to upgrade your game, let me share with you this QR code. If you're listening to the audio version, it won't make any difference. But what you can do is if you're listening to the audio version, you go to speakonstage.com/upgrades. That's speakonstage.com/upgrades, and you should be able to see everything I'm sharing with the QR code on the screen right now. But if you're just watching now, get your phone, hold it up to the screen, and you should find a yellow box that dances around a bit. It's really annoying. It's like trying to play whack-a-mole when you go to the fun park. If you don't go to a fun park, then maybe you should and look for whack-a-mole. But it's kind of like that, and I know that they're probably going to work it out to make it much more efficient to use QR codes. But right now, that's what we have. So with that being said, today we're going to talk about being an industry icon and the idea of having a legacy. Now, not everybody thinks about becoming an industry icon, and it's really... You know what? I was chatting to some people the other day, and I met at a big business group. And when you start talking about what people want out of life and what people are doing, there's so many people who are in retirement who've come out of it through divorce or whatever and said, I've got to keep working, which is fair enough. So many people are just starting off on their journey and they're just trying to make an honest or dishonest buck as they go along. But a couple of people that are stuck in the middle and just going, well, I'm in a rut, but it seems to be working okay, or maybe I need to make change. And it's quite simple. It's only when it gets to the very end of your life that most people turn around and say, what was my life worth? That's why it's so important to start thinking about it right now and doing something that makes an impact and makes a difference. So the Industry Icon program is dedicated to doing that. There's various different levels, which you can see on the upgrades page, which I mentioned earlier. Now, I have shown this diagram before. Let me show you the simple version. 6 different steps towards you becoming an industry icon. The idea of becoming an industry icon is that your name owns an industry. So if you're talking about tech, then you start talking about Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs, and you know exactly what it is that they do. Because right now, the new rock stars are actually entrepreneurs and business owners. Rock stars aren't rock stars anymore. Now, let me say this statement so you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Rock stars are not rock stars anymore. The music industry has changed. The followers that people go for, which is music based in the old days it used to be, isn't the same. There's lots of people who've never made any music that are seen as rock stars or pop stars or influencers or YouTubers. In fact, even being a movie star isn't the same thing because right now, the box offices are going through such a massive slump. People are watching more stuff on TV and streaming, but it changes the whole game as to what constitutes a big star because they're not involved in a big release of a movie. People are watching their own TV shows in their own language and so on. And so it's really shifted quite a bit. Now, people do need to have icons, they do need to have idols, they do need to have people that inspire them and they look up to. And if you don't know who those kind of people are, then you need to reinvent yourself because you never know. It could be you that people want to follow. Now, that sounds a ridiculous thing to say. Dave, I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure I've got plenty of other people that they'd like to be inspired by. Well, it may seem like that, but let me share with you how easy and how powerful it is when you are a rock star or a pop star to get an audience that buys into who you truly are.
I'm Dave Crane, I'm the MC for tonight. This is a phenomenal gig, absolutely brilliant. Suddenly, looking at the lineup of all the stars coming to the UAE, it's just like a complete chart of everything that's happening around the world musically. And that's why you got all the big stars coming here, and it's really put Abu Dhabi on the map.
Hey, I'm Kelly Rowland in Abu Dhabi.
Yo, you know how we do this. It's Sean Paul, the girls, I'm overall locking it down in Abu Dhabi.
So you got some stars there, rock stars, pop stars, reggae stars, doesn't matter. The idea is in the old world, you'd have people who were in the audience just waiting to hear some music from somebody famous. Whether it's Kelly Rowland, or it's Sean Paul, or it's Beyonce, doesn't matter. Justin Bieber, they're all there to see. Now that still happens and concerts are still popular, but they could easily be there to learn about how to start a business, to learn about how. They could be there as fans of Twitter. They could be there as fans of Threads. They could be there to see, somebody who's big on LinkedIn with a number of different stars from LinkedIn talking about, what they do and tips and tools and techniques that people could have. And I know you're thinking, but that's not rock. No, but you're actually watching this video on LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever you watch your videos. The whole point is the game has shifted and people's perception of what makes somebody famous is not necessarily by the old way of doing it. Right now, at this moment in time, sports stars are big, but business people who have a methodology that is transferable to other people, that works as well. So creating an icon has a number of different stages to it. I'll talk about it from a simpler point of view because this is an easier diagram to follow than the one that I just shared with you. So you start off with the awareness saying, I need to do something. I'm not really where I need to be. You start being, then you go to number 2, which is to be aspired. You go, right, you know what? Those guys are really good. I aspire to be like them, and you start following them, looking at their business models. And then once you've got your act together and you think, I'm ready for this, you start doing social media, or you start going down a particular route of networking, connecting with people, but you start driving your car in a certain direction. After a while, when you start getting medium results back, some good, some bad, you realize that some things you do don't work, so you have to change direction of a car. People you want, your target audience, in a certain place. So you head in that direction, which makes a big difference. That's number 4, positioning. And then when you're getting towards that direction, you're thinking, everything's working out, but I'm carrying too much baggage. I could get there faster if I wasn't wasting so much of my time on things that people aren't really responding to. So then number 5, you start refining what you're doing. And finally, number 6, you start owning your space. You start becoming that person that everyone turns around and says, wow, wow, I need to be like you, I need to work with you, or I need to have something done. Can you get somebody who can do a Dave Crane on my business, or a Dave Crane on my branding, or an Elon Musk on my launch, or Mark Zuckerberg on my data? Not a great example, but you know basically what I mean when I'm talking about that. So when I start talking about it, when you become an industry icon, now the important thing about being positioned as an industry icon is that once you've done it and once you've effectively put yourself in that position, it means that people will want to work with you. Now, speaking is a major part of what this is about, and I'll be talking about this in more depth as we go into more of today's podcast. But what I do with the Industry Icon program is I show people how to create multiple income streams. So not just the idea of speaking on stage, hosting or being on a panel or being seen as an expert, but also coaching and mentoring, create membership sites, having a great brand. That also means that you can do joint ventures, affiliate sales, and as well as that, boost your own products. When people recognize you and who you are, they're going to want to buy more of what you normally offer to the market because it's elevated and raised because you're really well positioned. Now, it's also true to say that when you are a well-known CEO or a representative of a brand or an ambassador, what you say and what you do, if it's in line with a direction of where the listeners are and it falls in and makes truth and transparency, you can probably add about another 20 to 50% at least in revenue just because of the sales that come from a direct result of you representing the brand, giving a face to the brand and a voice to the brand, and making people want to go, yeah, I believe that. I'm going to buy that brand. I feel associated with it. I mean, nowadays, a lot of people won't buy stuff, even if it's great value, if you feel it comes from some kind of country where people are exploited to be able to produce it. It's true, isn't it? You feel the same way. That never used to be the way. It was always based on price. But now people want to know that it's aligned with their own personal values. So once you've got your voice, you can share your values and people want to do business with you. Of course, the opposite is true. If you end up doing something so badly and you're representing your brand and you really goof and you do something that people go, oh no, and I won't talk about pillows. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You can actually kill your brand or really do a lot of damage to it if you start talking about things, people don't agree with it, you're out of sync, or you're not telling the truth. People just go, I don't want your brand because your brand feels toxic now. And people who, even if I feel okay about it, I know that my people who buy my stuff don't want me to be associated with your stuff. So end of game. So it is a bit of a risk when you start looking at what you do with your actual personal brand and the things you say and what you do out there. You need to make sure that it is actually something that people will aspire to and feel that it's worth associating with. Does that make sense? Good. Okay, if you just joined me, nice to see you. Welcome to Speak on Stage. Nice to hear you. Well, you're not saying anything on a podcast, but you know what I mean. It's good to have you with me, and I really appreciate the time that you're dedicating to this session. It's all about building your legacy and building a legacy that inspires. So let's get straight into this because it's kind of important that all the stuff that I share with this, you get as much opportunity to be able to do something with. So let's start off with the first point. How to build a legacy that inspires. Number one, believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, why should anybody else want to believe in you? And this is important because when you are believing in yourself, everything you do starts to become different. Now, believing in yourself does not mean that you have to go, I'm great, I've got a massive ego, everybody else is wrong. You can believe in the process around yourself that you are working towards being better at every stage, and you can get there if you follow a roadmap and algorithms and your heart. And all these things come together to let people know that you are genuine, that everything you do with your expertise and so on is from the heart and you're really doing it properly. If you can do that, then people aspire to you. And that's the first stage. Next stage is this. The power of your mindset in creating a great and lasting legacy. Do you believe in yourself? Not just believe in yourself, but are you capable of doing something with it? Are you doing all the heavy lifting, all the hard work, looking around at what's about you? Are you doing meditation? Are you doing things that allow you to have growth, like a vision board? Have you got a mentor? Have you got time and energy to be able to do this? Because creating a lasting legacy, it's often like planting stuff in the back garden. You're thinking, when's this going to come through? When are people going to see all the fruits of my labor? And sometimes when you work really hard, they're not going to see it at the time that you want it to happen. Doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. Many people will see things and not say anything to you, but it doesn't mean they don't notice it. And it also doesn't mean you should stop moving forward. Number three is this. You need to become an inspirational leader, which means that you have to be used to helping others. Now, that might be a tall call, and it might be for many people a big difference. I don't want to be seen as a leader. What do you mean a leader? Have a following? That means doing social media, so everybody has to listen to everything I say. I don't even know how to look after me sometimes. Leadership is not necessarily about leading others. You could be an incredible leader on your own. When you look at the people that we respect, the likes of Gandhi, or the likes of let's see, Nelson Mandela, some of the greatest leaders of all time, most of the time, to get to that position, it was their story that inspired them. They were on their own as they were doing things. They might have even had a following that was going around and doing stuff the way that they wanted it to. Martin Luther King, another classic example. But the real story is what happened when they were on their own, because that is the difficulty of being a leader. And it doesn't make you wrong if you doubt yourself, because every single leader does. Okay, so helping others is part of what drives you, because if you can help others, it means that they will find their feet too. Number 4, creating a media legacy. Now, a media legacy is important. I put here books, podcasts, courses, and videos. Your legacy is also looking in a digital age. In the old days, if you had a book, or you had a radio show, podcasts, the way of doing it now, or a TV show, which is a video or a YouTube channel, or you had a gathering, or you had a course, you were seen as a massive leader. And it was really about those who were connected, of those who had luck, of those who had tons of money, or those who had a legacy of a family who'd been doing this for a long time. So they had contacts and so on. The digital world that we're in now allows anybody to be able to step up and start creating incredible content just like that. You don't have to be at the top of the food chain, but the fact that most people won't do it, most people don't know how to do it, means that whatever you create will lift you up the social ladder and make your personal brand front and center for those that are interested in it. Does that make sense? Yes, Dave. Thank you so much, he said, talking to himself in a really weird way. All right, next up is this. Building a loyal following and creating significant change that matters. So what is it that you're doing? Who are you fighting against? What's your change that you're creating? And why would people want to play with you? If you don't know what it is that your audience is after, then you're kind of running around in circles and nobody wants to waste time on that. The amount of times I talk to clients, I'm going to say, yeah, or even prospective clients more likely, I've got a book inside me. I want to make that book. Okay, what's your book about? It's about my struggles and my challenges. Okay, I'm not disrespecting your struggles or your challenges, but who cares? Then you get silence. Well, the people are struggling. Not sure if they want to read more struggles. I think they're probably looking for a solution to their struggles. Really? So that would be the book you want to write. If you've gone through struggles, you come out the other side, write a book about how to overcome them. Don't dwell in all the horrible experiences you had, because get over yourself. Nobody cares. And I'm not saying that with disrespect. I'm saying about if you want to make a book that people buy into, then you need to know what your target market wants. And if this is, in this case, if it's a business book, then people want to know how to do their business better using your case study as the examples that they need to learn from. Does that make sense? So with that, you have to make sure that you are making a change. And it might not be from your own example, it might be something you're working towards. But really, it's about making sure that your loyal following buy in because you've got the Wi-Fi code that they need. And you're giving them stuff that they really aspire to. That's what you need to drive. Number 6, walking the talk and living your legacy. Sometimes we only end up saying, wow, those guys are fantastic after they're dead, which hardly seems very fair. To them, it doesn't really matter. But if you can do it right now, this is the beauty of the fact we can do social media and publishing, and we can reach people in real time. And this visual podcast can reach you wherever you are around the world. If you can share who you are right now, some people will want to find you in different ways. Some will want to see you in person. Some will want to see you on stage. Some will want to watch your videos, read your books, follow you on social media, listen to your podcast, just be a follower or a fan, or it might be they just want to connect to you. They might want to be coached by you, mentored by you. They might want to get access to your products and your ideas and your apps and all the rest of it. There's a number of different ways that you can reach people and help them to grow that legacy. And you should consider all of them because you can do this. But you also need to consider what happens when something goes wrong. If something goes wrong for you, Will people turn around and say, you know what, that was just a blip? That person has been fantastic all the way through, so I'm not changing my mindset relating to them. Right now, the stuff you're talking about might be relevant, but it's not relevant enough for me. I'm still going to give them my vote. Talking about votes. And what I'm talking about. Don't say it. We don't go political on the show. But you get the general idea. The more you can create, the more you can put out there, it also acts as a self-defense. If anybody wants to turn around and start disparaging your name or trying to position you as not what you are, then you can say, well, not only is that not true, but I am this. And I've always been this. Have a look at my legacy. Have a look at my books. Have a look at the comments that people have made on my podcasts or whatever for many years. And it's a really powerful way to protect who you are, where you are, and the impact that you have with people. Does that make sense? Good. As we get on to number 7. Number 7 is this: the art of public speaking, impact, and influence. Why public speaking? Why does that matter so much? Because it's a fast track. It's a really fast way to get your ideas, your thoughts, your tools, your tricks, your techniques, and your insights across to the audience in front of you in real time. Doing a show like this is brilliant. I can broadcast it and meet people all around the world who are tuning in real time and catching up on it. But if you're there in the flesh, there's something about having a person in front of you. Now, with so much fake news and fake media out there, you can use AI to copy anybody's voice. You can program in what you want them to say, and then you even use AI to copy their face and make any politician, rock star from the past or wherever say whatever they want to say. But they can't do that when you're live and in person. And people will pay for that. We can all get access to buying the music of the biggest stars that we've ever enjoyed. But if you had a chance to go and see them in real life, you'd pay that extra. Why? Because the experience is different. It's all encompassing. Everything about it resonates with you. Doesn't mean it doesn't work the other way. But for something about live and in person that matters. So therefore, you need to know the art of public speaking. If you can't talk to an audience in front of you and get them to buy into who you are, then you're going to end up in a situation that they won't believe you. Or they may not. Or they get persuaded by somebody who does it better than you. And it's simple skills. You talk every day to people. Why not be able to do it on a stage? There's skills you need to learn. But once you get them right, it's incredibly effective and incredibly powerful. And you can create the legacy that people want to have when they connect with you. All right. Number 8, leveraging social media for your legacy building. I know you probably hate social media. To be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan, but there's no getting around the fact that it really works. Social media has grown to be so sophisticated that every single brand on the planet, in some way, shape, or form, if they want to reach an audience, they will spend some money on advertising, they'll create viral videos and all the rest of it, and will do it a certain way to reach their audience. Will this last forever? I don't know. AI might make a huge difference to brand building. Because then with AI, everyone becomes a much smarter marketer, much better than the agencies, because anybody can do what the agencies who work for those big brands can do from their home. So that means a lot more competition, and you can be a lot more targeted with who you want to reach when you have assistants to be able to plan and work it out. It's a lot for one person to take on. So there'll be a lot of changes that come in the future. It's a case of looking out for them. But meanwhile, as a single person or a small organization, using social media means that for free, you can create an incredible relationship with your market. I will in future sessions go on about what you need to do with your social media. Today I just want to point out the things that you need to be able to build your legacy. Now as I continue, if this resonates with you, then please feel free to leave a comment, let me know where you're from, say something nice, it's always helpful as well, and give me some encouragement because I spend a lot of time putting this together for you. Don't really. Spend ages, just blood, sweat and tears. Not really. In fact, to be honest with you, I work so hard that I just drink coffee while I'm typing. Yeah, it's really delicious. And look, it's got a, can you see this? A little teddy bear hugging a heart, which means that all my other decent cups are in the wash. So then you've got leveraging social media to build your legacy and then managing your reputation. What others say about you. I said at the very beginning of today's session, it's so important that people see you as who you are. And they see you who you are, so when somebody else talks about you to them, they all sing from the same book. They all know what they think of you. And it's not necessarily that it's true, it's what you perceive that they should have about you, and you put that out all over the place. People are generally very lazy and they don't care. It's not that they're just horrible people, it's just that everyone's busy. And the big impact, and this is the thing you need to know, the one question you have to ask is what's in it for them? What do they get out of spending time with you and your brand? If the answer is nothing, you're not doing it properly. If the answer is, well, I'll come round to it, they won't come round to it. They want to know now. And so you need to make sure that that is front and center with every delivery, every interaction, and everything you put across social media or even when you talk to people. Think what's in it for them. Now, when you say that, what's in it for them, also think about your partner, your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, your children, your colleagues, your boss, your suppliers. If you always think what's in it for them and you deliver what's in it for them with a smile, they will go their extra mile just for you. Because most people don't. Most people do their own thing. It makes a difference when you think of others. So managing your reputation makes a huge difference because therefore you should treat it preciously. If people say bad stuff about you, you should want to know. You should want to fix it because that can get out of hand. The amount of times I've been watching recently, and especially in the UK, but it's a thing that happens in America, and I'm sure in your own country you've got the same thing. There's like a hunt on celebrities. In the UK, there's a typical thing. We build up people and we go, great, they're fantastic, they're amazing. And as soon as it gets to a really high point where they're revered, then the newspapers and magazines and radio and TV and all the rest start to get gossip about them and chop people down, chop their legs away, start proving that they're not the wholesome, wonderful human beings that you thought they were. Well, guess what? They never were. I'm not, you're not. Even royals go to the bathroom. So the point is, people are people. But right now there's a feeding frenzy across the globe on gossip. And if it's normal gossip, nobody's interested. If it's salacious and ha ha ha, got you there, people get fascinated by that entire thing. So you've got to make sure that your reputation is not spotless, but sometimes what you can do is you can let people know in advance that this is me. I'll tell you what my challenges are, so you don't have to go sniffing around to find out for it. And if you put that front and center, then people go, oh, okay. And in fact, when you look at the art of business storytelling, being able to tell people about your core wound, what drives you, what hurts you, what you're trying to live your life to get over. And it doesn't mean you have to be a saint to do this. You're just a human being trying the very best that you can. And sometimes you fail and it goes wrong. That's why you watch the TV shows that you watch, because you want to see how that core wound of the main character, the hero, the heroine, the person that you're watching, how will they cope with this new challenge, knowing what they've been through? Well, that's why you need to put yours out front and center. And I will tell you from the very beginning, my big challenge has always been the fact that I had imposter syndrome because I didn't believe that people respected me or thought I was worth being promoted to be a great entertainer or get to a position that I wanted to. And I spent so much of my life just working really hard to get recognized for how good I can be. And the stuff I've done has been fantastic, been successful, and created amazing stuff. But that's at the heart of who I am. I had to understand that to reinvent myself, to be able to do what I'm doing right now. Now, you're going to have your own stuff. But once you know that about me, how does that create a relationship with what it is that I do and how you think about me? Interesting, isn't it? Imagine what that does for you as well. So, with that being said, let's get back to this. At this moment in time, I've got my beautiful wife trying to call me. So because I'm live on the podcast, she knows that I can't talk. So there you go. And the phone should ring off. If not, I'll press a red button and she'll not talk to me the rest of the day. All right, number 10 is this. The legacy of an industry icon. What is it that you're going to do? All this hard work you're putting in. Now, is it that you're going to work? You're going to work in a bank? You've set up your own business? You have a shop? What is it? Well, that's what everyone does, and lots of people do. But you've got to ask yourself, what's my legacy? What are people going to think about that I made a difference with? And you might be saying, well, I just do a normal job. Maybe it's a normal job to you, but who are you helping? Maybe you need to bring a CSR in mind. Corporate social responsibility, or PSR, personal social responsibility. From the success of building your business, have you used that time to help others? To let others know that you're helping them? Doesn't mean you've got to put that front and center and say, haha, this is me. They don't need to know it's there. but you need to know it's there because it's building up that fully 3D rounded personality that you have. And the more that people respect you as a person, respect your business, the easier it is to get them to be attracted to your personal brand and to make them want to invest in you, your charity ideas, and also making the world a better place. Because getting supporters, getting people to work with you is a massive game changer. So make sure when they do connect with you, they know exactly who you are, what you do, and how you can help them by that association. I hope so far this has made sense to you. The stuff I'm talking about, I know a lot of people are going, well, it's interesting, but I'm not at that stage yet. Okay, well, how long do you need before you're going to be at that stage? Do you want to be a game changer? Do you want to change the world? Do you want to change your life? Do you want to upgrade bit by bit? It's all a journey. Remember when I talked about the actual direction of where you need to be for this to happen? When you work with me, there are stages. The first stage is going, oh, maybe I can do better than this. That's awareness. I understand if you're there right now. But there are definitive steps to get you to where you need to be when you really want to step up to that real high level. So people associate that not only are you brilliant at what you do, but they say, look, I can work on that and I can get you to where you need to be as well. That's the key. So what kind of signature projects can you do? What can you do to build that relationship with the market? Well, here's some simple suggestions. Let's start off just like this. Okay, I believe your signature projects should be like this. You should build up a really powerful personal brand that people resonate with. You should also get a mastery of public speaking so people understand because they've seen you in the flesh, they've watched your videos, they've heard your audios, but when they get to meet you, it's just something special. You'd also be attracting fans and followers. The more names that you have, the more people that are close to you, the more impact that you will have, and they will tell others as well. Then you should have to overcome imposter syndrome. That's a challenge for many people. And in fact, 92% of people do have some kind of imposter syndrome. That's why it's so important that you are in charge and get yourself back on track with that. Then launching a podcast or a TV show doesn't have to be anything spectacular. It's just ways of reaching your audience so they start thinking and working out how they can interact with you and get bigger and better effects as a direct result. If they listen to your podcast, they can put in lots of different time while you're not giving your hours, while you're not working by the time. They're not buying your time, they're actually just listening to your stuff. So by the time it comes around to you putting an offer out in the market, they've already decided that they like you while you were doing something else because you created that content. Also, as you create that influential content, think about all the different ways you can reach people. Everything from helping others to creating media, to creating followers and fans or projects that will have a big impact and putting your name on them or just being seen to be visible with it. And making sure that if you're influential, it doesn't happen immediately, but it does happen over a period of time. Then writing books and courses. Of course, if you've got a really good way of making things better for people, then put it down in writing or let people come and learn your system. And they will pay for that as well. If they're not paying for it, then maybe they don't value it enough, or maybe you're talking to the wrong kind of audience. Then organizing events and retreats. This is like a step up in many ways from the online courses or the writing books. When you organize events and retreats, it kind of steps away from what's perceived as a done for you to being done with you. When it's writing a book, they do it on their own. When it's done with you, then it becomes really powerful because then you've got them in real time and they really appreciate that you're spending quality time teaching them how it's done and they're getting it from the master or mistress or whatever way you want to perceive yourself. Then you monetize your expertise. If you are so good at it, why not get people to pay for that? And last but not least, as this entire podcast today has been about, creating your legacy. Now, if you want to get a screenshot of this, this is what we do with the Industry Icon program. Here you go with all the things that you should be considering at this stage. There's a lot more to it than I'm showing you, but at least it shows you the kind of direction you should be considering to be able to make that big impact in life. Once again, this is what we do. If you've got any questions, put it into the podcast, do it in the comments section or directly on my social media. Connect with me and message me. We might even be able to have a chat to see how we can get you to a higher level. Even starting as a game changer and working your way up to the legacy. It can be done, and everybody should be considering that, just like you were told by the banks to start saving for your pension. Building your legacy is a way of doing it in real time. If you want to upgrade your game, go to www.speakonstage.com/upgrades or get this QR code. It gives you all the details you need. I'm going too quickly for you and you're saying, Dave, I can't, I'm watching it on my phone, do a screenshot now. Or a screenshot now. Or whenever you're ready, do a screenshot and then you can press the button or press the QR code and it should interact and then send you off to the website and then have a look at the products and programs we have available with a community of every type waiting to help you on your journey, because it's more fun when you're doing it with other people at the same time. That's it for today's session. I hope you enjoyed it. It's been an absolute honor and pleasure being with you. As always, every week at least, there's a brand new podcast. Make sure you check out all the other ones in the series. It's called Speak on Stage. And my name is Dave Crane. It's been an honor having you with me, and I hope you've enjoyed everything we've shared so far. Any questions, connect with me. Or if you just want to know more, go to my old podcasts, and it's all there. Or go to speakonstage.com. And whatever I'm doing, wherever I am, and wherever you are, and what you're working on, I look forward to catching you again soon in the future. But meanwhile today, all the very best.
I have been participating in Dave Crane's Industry Icon program.
Dave Crane is one of the best coaches in the industry.
One of the most knowledgeable speakers I know.
I was so impressed.
He shared the stage with celebrities, athletes, politicians, and royalty.
You've been an inspiration to me since the first time I saw you on LinkedIn, man.
New prospects should know that you are a world-class broadcaster.
He's a true professional. He operates from his heart, and he always speaks his truth.
Where do I begin?
I looked around the room, and all I could see was eyes on you, ears on you. You could have heard a pencil drop.
Dave is someone who is a limitless thinker with a big heart.
And his Industry Icon program helps coach great leaders into becoming great speakers.
It's helped me improve my image online.
Everyone I know that's worked with you says the same thing.
It's helped me improve my presentation and speaking abilities.
Clarity, clarity, and clarity.
But more importantly, it's helped me to have a crystal clear message in what benefit I can add to my audience.
You know, I'm in TV, and so people assume that, you know, speaking in front of crowds is easy. But I'm on a set, and it's very different to go from a closed set to speaking to a live audience.
Now, because of Dave, I totally get it. I totally get why it's important, and I totally get that I can do it too.